Hey guys, B-Toch here, back with a brand new video. Today we're going to be looking at the SI-75 from 1 of 0. Before we get into the video, I would just like to say that this board was sent out to me by 1 of 0, but that is not going to affect what I have to say in this review. This is still going to be 100% my own words. Let's get into the video. Alrighty guys, so here we have the board. As you can see, the main attraction of this board is the clear case. Got the nice blue on the back. But before we get into the actual board, I would just like to talk more about the packaging. So here I have the box. I have it split into a few different pieces here just to show you guys a little bit easier. But this is the main sleeve of the box here. As you can see, you have the 1 of 0 branding, SI-75 HE. As you can see, this board is powered by Keychron. We'll get more into the tech side of the board in a few minutes here, explaining more what Keychron has done to this board to say powered by Keychron. As you can see, just gives you some more branding, a few quick features in the bottom here. If we flip it to the back, just gives you a few more features. It shows you the layering inside the board. It shows you the PCB, how it has a foam layer, the silicone on the back, the plates, the switches. It shows you all of that. Gives you just a few more quick features right here. I'm going to get some B-roll shots for you guys so you guys can take a closer look at the box, but if you guys want to pause just to read that stuff, it is here for you. And if you can see down here, it mentions the Silicore modular components. The different colors are sold separately with the board. I do have all the current colors in hand right now. I could say that blue, in my opinion, definitely looks the best. That's just my personal opinion. Everybody has their own opinion on colors. But for me, blue looks the best. We'll get more into exactly how that gets changed and stuff like that. And I'm probably going to make a separate video from this showing you guys how to change it, because it is a little bit of a process. It's not something that you do in like 2 minutes. It's more of like a 5 to 10 minute process, but it's not something that's difficult. I think anybody can swap it out with ease, even if you haven't opened a keyboard before. So this is the second part of the box here. As you can see, it just has the keyboard printed all over it. I think this looks really sweet. I think they did a really good job here, and I'm probably just going to display my box like this because I think it looks really nice. On the back, it just says 1 of 0 SI-75 HE. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the outside of the box. What you get included in the box, I have everything here. You get some extra feet. These feet make it a little taller. I believe I have the big blue ones on right now. I do not have the small ones on, but the small ones just make the board sit flat on your desk. These just raise them up a little bit. I actually prefer these. They raise them up just the right amount to where it's not too angled, but it's actually a nice angle. And I appreciate that it's not too steep of an angle. As you can see, there's some extra little screws in the bag here as well. That's just due to, if you lose a screw, just little extras. I like when companies add that stuff. You have 3 different sets of keycaps inside the box. These were the original one on the board. I swapped them out for the blue, so you would get blue, gray, and orange, not red, gray, and orange. You would get blue, gray, and orange in the box, but because I swapped them out, I have them here. But you get 3 different sets of keycaps, and then you're going to get an Allen key to open the board up, and then a Phillips head screwdriver to further disassemble the board. I believe this is for the PCB. I haven't gotten too far into that yet where I've had to use the Phillips head, but definitely just to open the board to change the Silicore components, you're definitely going to need this Allen key. But yeah, guys, that basically includes everything that's in the box. So for the next part, I want to get more into the actual board here. Let's get more into the tech side of it. The tech side of this board. Like I mentioned before, this board is powered by Keychron. Keychron is supplying the switches and the PCB for this board. Everything else is kind of tuned and customized to what 1 of 0 wanted out of a board. But as for the Keychron technology here, we are looking at their top-of-the-line HE PCB, their 8K polling rates, 32K scan rate, and 200 microsecond latency, which is very good in my opinion. It's just a tiny bit slower than my Wooting on paper, but it's not a noticeable difference. We're talking about, what, 50 microseconds here. It's not something that any human can ever notice. The switch compatibility with this PCB is KS20. Now, talking about the switches that are in this board, these are Keychron super fast line magnetic switches. They feel very nice. They have a nice sound to them, and they have a nice feel to them. They have a total travel distance of 3.5 millimeter, which is not my personal favorite. I do prefer 4 millimeter, but I do understand from a gaming standpoint how the shorter actuation distance, the shorter travel distance can benefit you. But other than those two things, that's the only thing that's that Keychron has taken over on this board. Everything else, like I said, is 100% tuned to what One of Zero wanted. So they wanted to make something that is not 100% an HE gaming keyboard, something that kind of falls into and falls under the mechanical gaming keyboard world, right? So you get a nice sound. You have a lot of sound deadening with the Silicore inside and the extra silicone dampening in between this and the PCB, which is very nice. So you get a nice mechanical feeling, almost mechanical sounding keyboard, but with HE technology, which is very nice. I'm going to list all the specs on the screen for you guys, just so you guys can see that a little bit easier. But talking about in-game performance, I can't tell a difference between this and my Wooting. My 80HE feels just as snappy, or this feels just as snappy as my Wooting. I find in every game that I normally play, every game that I test it, that this board really just doesn't fall behind with the top boards on the market. It definitely holds its own. It holds its own, and it definitely can compete with a lot of other stuff on the market, considering it is at a cheaper price point than the rest of the stuff on the market. I'm going to include the price on the screen now, just so you guys know the confirmed price. I believe it was 150 Canadian, but I think that was for like the pre-orders. I want to say move it up to 199. I'm going to confirm. I'll add the USD and Canadian pricing on the screen for you guys, just so you guys know, and it's 100% confirmed. But other than that, there's not much more to talk about technology wise, other than maybe just the RGB. Quite standard RGB here. You do not get it through the back of the board because of the Silicore on the back, but you can see it through the sides a little bit. As you can see, I have like the raindrop effect on right now. It's my favorite effect. It's not like the RGB, it's not in your face RGB, but it's like a nice muted RGB. So I prefer this over just the color cycle. But when there is RGB lights on a board, I do like to use them because it's a feature that is there, and I personally like to use it. A lot of people don't like lights on their board, but these are sporting south-facing RGB lights, which is nice to see, but to me that doesn't really affect it too much. Like I said, a lot of people don't really mind the lights, or a lot of people actually don't like the lights. So if your switches aren't compatible with south-facing RGB, then it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to affect the performance of the board whatsoever. But other than those things, that's pretty much it for the technology side of this. Let's take a further look at the actual board now. All right, guys, so taking a further look at the board here, I have it unplugged just to show you guys. But as you can see, we are sporting the clear case, which is a personal liking of mine. I definitely fuck with the clear case. I think it's cool. This is my first like clear case like peripheral, to be honest. I haven't had a clear mouse. Yeah, no, I haven't had anything else clear besides this keyboard, so it's definitely cool for me. Looking around the board, you can see you have your USB-C port, and you can see you have a switch on the back here. This switch is for profiles, so you can have two profiles baked into the board, which is very nice if you're a tournament player. If you want to have two different profiles on your board, you can just bake them onto the board, download them onto the board, and just switch them from the switch, which is really nice. I really like that there's an actual analog switch on here showing you what profile you're in. That's really cool. Looking at the front here, the keycaps, these are just die sub PPT keycaps. The legends are white on this very light gray, so they're kind of hard to see. I would have wished like the legends were darker. I don't know if like a gray would have been better, like a darker gray. I don't know, but sometimes in the dark they can be a little hard to see if you're looking for a certain key. But you do have the blue caps here. Now, depending on what color you want your caps to be, they do match up with the Silicore colors, which is very nice. You do have a volume knob in the top that clicks. This volume knob is very cool because this is one of the Silicore features. So these are just little silicone knobs that just go on to the actual volume knob here. So it's very nice that you can change the color of this very easy. And it has a very nice soft feel too. So that's nice. On the back of the board here, you can see the big Silicore feature here, the big silicone dampening pad right in the back of the case there. You have your feet here. They just come out. I think they're supposed to flip out, but I don't know. They don't really... Yeah, like these ones don't... The smaller ones don't work very well if you flip them out because they just bend, so I don't think that's a feature that's supposed to be on the board. And if it is, it doesn't work very well. So that is something I can note, that if it is a feature that they're supposed to flip out, it doesn't work very well. But I do like the angle that the bigger feet allow. The small feet are just sit flat with the board, so it's at that normal typing angle. But I do like the angle that these feet allow the board to be at. It just raises it ever so slightly to where it's slightly angled, and it's a nice angle. It's not too aggressive. These red feet on the back, you can change these. These are I think they're a one and done, like stick type idea. So I didn't want to take these off because I'm not 100% confirmed if I'm keeping the blue yet. Like I want to change it around, right? So I don't want to take these off because then if I use the blue ones and then I use the orange ones, I have no more. So I'm just going to keep the red ones on for now. It's not that big of a deal. I don't see the back of the board while I'm using it. But other than that, that basically takes us all the way around the board, shows us everything like visually on the board. Like mentioned before, looking at the box, the sandwich here, you do have the silicone dampening pad, the Silicore, right on the back. There is another, I think it's silicone pad on the back of the PCB. Then there's a piece of foam in between the plate and the PCB. So you do get a lot of dampening in this board, which is very nice. It's honestly quite strong for a plastic board too. Like, I'm surprised how little it flexes for a fully plastic board, which is very nice. It has a very solid build construction, which is very nice. But other than that, together the board sounds very nice. You have factory lubed switches and you have factory lubed stabs. They sound very nice. There's not much rattle on the stabs whatsoever. We'll get it close to the mic here. Very nice factory lubing on the stabs, if you ask me. Probably the best factory job I've seen on a pair of stabilizers, which is very nice to see from a smaller company. It's very nice to see that they're focusing on this type of stuff. But yeah, like other than that, like I said, it sounds nice. Altogether, I give this board a thumbs up. There is a few things that are a little like nitpicky for me, like changing the Silicore. Like I said before, it's a little bit of a process. It's not hard. I would say it's tedious. It's not a, like I said, it's not a 2-3 minute process. It's a 5-10 minute process. You have to take out all the gaskets, which is a little tedious. Other than that, changing the Silicore is quite easy. I think most people, if you're buying this keyboard, you could probably open it up and change it. I don't think you would have a problem doing that. I don't think you're going to break anything. Like, I've opened the board, there's no daughter board that like a little lead that can break or anything like that. On the Wooting, it's a little harder to open up because you have that daughter board. But with this, it's just the port that you have to worry about. But as long as you just lift the PCB out normally, you'll be fine. But yeah, guys, like I said, this definitely gets a thumbs up for me. The things, sorry, before I list it more about the Silicore, there's one more nitpick I have. The software, it's good. It lists everything you need. It has everything that you would want on an HE keyboard. I just find it's a little scattered. I'll show you guys actually, I'll show you guys right now what that looks like. We'll go just switch to that quickly and we'll see what the software looks like. We'll just do a little quick walkthrough. All right, guys, so here we have the software. The main page here, we have our HE mode. As you can see, it has all the features that you would ever need. My main nitpick about it is that it just feels a little scattered. Like, as you can see, we go into HE mode here, and it has all the features that you would need on your HE keyboard. I just, like, then when I got the keyboard, I was like, oh, how do I turn on 8K? You gotta go down to, like, advanced mode here. I feel like this tab just doesn't need to exist, and it could just be put into HE mode. That's probably just me, but like I said, that's an easy software update thing. It's probably not something that's gonna switch based off what I have to say, because it's just me, but it's definitely something I'm going to note. I find that the lighting effects, the backlight effects, is a little bit not scattered, but like I kind of wish there was a description for each of these, kind of just telling you exactly what they were and exactly like how they worked. Some of them are just like a little confusing. Like some of the nicely labeled ones make sense, obviously, but some of them just like they're worded weirdly, in my opinion. Other than that, though, it's quite a standard software. I mean, like, other than it kind of just feeling scattered to me, there's nothing else really to nitpick here. Like I said, it has all the features you could ever need. You can do anything to this keyboard. Anything you could do to a normal HE keyboard, you could do to this keyboard. The one thing I do like about this software is that there is a key test section, which is cool, and you can like change all these different all the different noises, which is kind of funny. Just a little cool gag joke thing. But yeah, guys, just want to show you guys the software here quickly, but let's get back into the video. So in my opinion, I think the software is just slightly scattered. I think it's a very easy fix just with one software update. I think there's just some settings that should be together and other settings that should be with other settings, right? And I think that it's a little scattered out, and I think that some of the performance settings should just be together with some of the other performance settings instead of like on a separate advanced tab. But really, besides that, there's not much else I can really nitpick with this board. You get a full package here. You get a great amount of customizable features with the colors, the Silicore. You can swap switches, keycaps, stuff like that. You have great performance. I mean, like, it rivals some of the best boards on the markets, and the build quality, it's solid, and it comes in at a great price. So this board definitely gets a thumbs up for me. Like I mentioned before, there is just those two little nitpick things that I'm going to point out just because that's what I have to do while reviewing. But yeah, I definitely give this board a thumbs up. I would definitely suggest it for anybody that's interested in an HE board that wants a little bit of customizability and likes the clear case, wants just a nice all-around good package and something that's just going to perform well out of the box. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a little hiatus, but I think we're back now. I think we're gonna lock in, make some videos, and I think we're going to do some damage in the community. But before we log out of the video here, I just want to say please like and subscribe. There's going to be a quick sound test at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.